Hello and welcome to my boat workshop. My name is Panu and I am building this 15-meter liveaboard cruising sailboat here in Finland. So far in this project I have mostly done the frames of the boat and then one side of the stem piece. And now in this video we are doing the second half for the stem. I have already laminated the second half here. It is ready to go here on the table. Need to get it out and put it on that CNC machine. You can maybe see behind me there. We're going to machine this raw laminated piece of wood in the really accurate piece of stem for the boat. But welcome, remember to subscribe the channel of course, check my Patreon page for supporting making these videos, and also t-shirts and stuff is available for supporting this massive project. Just a quick overview of this stem piece here. It is laminated from thin pieces of wood, in this case amazingly amazing knotless pine, like this. And they are laminated together. I think this took maybe 6 laminating sessions to be able to bend these slats on this form. Now it is ready, it's all cured and looks nice, and we're going to shape this stem as we did with the first one. The only difference really is that this is a mirror image. I think it's now time to get these clamps off and move this whole thing to that CNC. Alright, now it should be loose. We'll see about that. This is the bottom side that was against the table. It looks all right. There is a few slats here in the middle that weren't pushed tightly against the table when the lamination was done. But if you haven't seen the first videos of that first half of the stem, this is pretty much the same, just mirror image of course. I'm gonna explain just briefly. First, we're going to put this whole thing on the CNC machine and we're going to plane the upside surface to certain level. Then we're gonna flip this over and plane this other side. Then we're going to have 2 completely flat surfaces. Then we're going to flip it back, right side up, and plane just a little bit more to make it in a certain thickness. After that, we're going to shape the whole thing and then make a groove around the edges, and then it's basically ready to mount with the second half, and then we'll see how that goes. But yeah. The first thing I did today was to plane this wasteboard again. There was quite a bit of wear out already. You can see some markings there, and also the MDF tends to kind of swallow a little bit with the moisture changing here in the shed. So there is some level differences on the edge and on the center. So now it should be perfectly level. And from the previous video where I did the first half of the stem, you might remember that I have these alignment holes there, and we're going to use that to put the bottom piece here right now. Here we have it. Now it's right side up, and now I need to find those holes somewhere around there. There is the hole. I put this rod in there to keep it in its place, and there is another one. And very important detail is that the coordination system of the CNC is still the same, so that the 0 point on the X, Y bottom corner is the same. I haven't done any additional changes to that afterwards, so this should be on the same spot still. Just like that. Now the mold is firmly attached there. Now I just need to put that stem piece on here. But first we're gonna plane it down a little bit. This other side was against the table when laminating, so it should be pretty flat already. But this side is not. There is some differences in thicknesses of these pieces right here. And this should be 11.5 centimeters thick. And these first layers here are 11.2 to 3. There is a couple of millimeters difference. So they are like the 11.5. Then there is this one solid wood piece right here, which is 12. So I need to plane this down at least a little bit. I think the rest of them should be okay. And the reason is that when I'm planing with the planing bit, it's like a 38 millimeters in diameter. It's pretty aggressive and I don't want to take too much material out of this with that. I'm going 1 millimeter at a time. So I need to plane actually just around here a little bit to make it not too aggressive of a cutting in here. So let's do that. Now everything's ready for starting the cut job. The 0 has been set to this surface for this bottom piece. It should cut down to 113 millimeters, so a couple of millimeters off from this side. Hopefully everything goes well. There is something wrong. It is so much cutting right now. That's too much. It started cutting. It's a little bit too much for me to be comfortable with this. It's 3 millimeters. I might go and set the Z value for the cutting first 2 millimeters above, and then we'll do it again. No hurry. Just the one to make it right. Let's try it again. First cut is now done. Now I think I need to get a little bit more off from this side. There might be something little between this board and the piece, so it might be a little bit high. Yeah, let's take another 1 millimeter off and then flip it over. Okay, now this is planed smooth and flat. It looks great. Next, before I flip it over, I need to cut off these ends right here and from that end, because there is some extra material here that is not surfaced properly. So I think I'll do that before I actually get it off. Right, now the piece has been planed from both sides. Now I'm gonna check the thickness. It should be exactly 111 millimeters, which it is. I'm gonna do another pass just to make sure that they are parallel surfaces, and tomorrow we will start carving. It's already quite late, so I'm not gonna do it today, but good thing that I got this far today. Alright, it's the next day. It's all ready to start shaping it, and yeah, I had idea to use this new 12mm router bit, but it just might be that this is too long. That is pretty high, so there's not much room between the motor and the piece itself, so this just might be too long. I'll try that first, and if this doesn't work, I need to go with the 8mm, which I did the last one with. Yep, as you can see, this is too long. This is as up as I can get it. That's a bummer. So I need to use this one instead. This is the first professional bit that I bought, but it still works. It's pretty sharp. And for this kind of long work, I try to use the old bit first. And I can't use the dust collection because it will go so deep in there, so it's alright. I just tape it up here somehow. And now I need to go and reprogram the cutting file for this bit. After a little bit of fiddling, everything should be now all right to start. Let's just push the start button. Like so. And fingers crossed. I'm just holding my hand here in cycle stop button. So if something goes wrong, I can quickly shut it down. The first layer is just a 0.5 millimeter. Looks good. So why it is doing it this way? Well, the program really doesn't know what kind of chunk of wood we have here. So it is told that this whole thing is just one chunk. I really can't model this to be accurate enough, so it just basically goes around and makes the whole program right about here and making sure that there is no edges left. So now it just is going over the edge right here. And that's just the way it goes. This is gonna take a while. But it's okay. I have plenty of work to do on my workstation. I'm gonna put some time-lapse cameras to show you how this goes and clean it up every now and then, and hopefully everything works fine. That was it for today. It took 3 hours and 49 minutes to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps down. And there is still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go. So I'm gonna continue that tomorrow. It's getting late already. Need to go home and feed my kids. It went smoothly. Nothing really went wrong. Also, you saw me cutting additional little piece out from this end, kind of make it a little bit shorter so that the collar doesn't hit with it remains right here. We will continue tomorrow. Alright, it's the next day and time to continue with the cutting. Yesterday I got 5 layers cut and now we're gonna continue there. And one good thing is to take a screenshot from the machine before shutting it down. So now I know that we have to continue from program line 13,947. So I'm gonna rewind the program in that place and then we're gonna check that it's in the right spot. Everything went pretty smoothly. It just takes time. It was 3 hours 49 minutes. But of course, from now on, every layer is smaller and smaller, so the rest of the cutting should go much faster. So here we have the program, and now we should go to line, what did I say, 13,947. That looks about right. Run from here. Things that were cut already are yellow and the remaining are blue. So the layer 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, layer 5 is done all the way to the outer edge, and the next movement is up there and it should move there. So yeah, spindle should be on, and now I just push cycle start. Now it asks feed rate, spindle on, yes. Yep, now the spindle started. Now it started, yes. Looking good, fingers crossed. Yep, it works. Now I will turn up the speed a little bit. The initial setting is 10,000 RPM with 2,000 millimeters per minute. But yesterday I had it override to 1,200 and 2,400, so 120% for both. I think the chips look pretty good, so it's not turning into dust, but they are clearly chips. Just like that. Now it is a little bit faster. And it is done, almost. It took 2 hours to make the rest of the cutting, which was expected because of course they're much smaller. Before I get it out, I make one more cut, and that is the outer edges. I'm gonna use the same router bit and cut edge markings around the whole piece so that we know where to cut it to size and to fit it to that other half. Also hole places for those doubles that we will use to put it together eventually. Let's just load the last program and make it happen. It should not take that long. Actually, before I start this program, I want to move that bit a little bit lower so that we have more clearance between the tip and the collar. Let me explain. Distance from this collar edge to that tip, this is a little bit small, and if we take a look at this place right here, you can see that the collar actually did hit a little bit in here, and now when we are making those markings, it will go up from here, and most likely the collar will hit some of these edges. So I want to make it as long as possible, so slightly touching edge would be as small as possible. Also, I'm a little bit concerned of this position. There might be some problems, but we'll see. Now everything should be ready. I adjusted the height of that bit a little bit, and the limit should be all right. It should fit above this edge right here. So Let's just start the program and hope for the best. Alright, it is done. It looks great. There is a couple of issues I already know. I have to fix them later. But I think that was also enough for this video. Stay tuned for next one. We'll try to fit these two halves together. The second half is over there. You might see it. Of course, remember to subscribe, give me a like, and if you want to support my video production and this whole project, please go and check the Patreon page, and also there's a link to order awesome t-shirts and stuff. They are a great way to support your favorite channels. Nevertheless, we will see you soon. Bye bye.